Racing takes place on Monday at Fairview on the Polytrack, the 26th of June 2023. We've got 8 races on the program, with the first commencing at 12:40. It will be the start of the bar pot over 1,200 meters. The maiden juvenile played for the fillies, and I'm joined by Grant Paddock on the line. Grant, how are you doing?
Morning, Rahul. Morning, punters. Yeah, 100%. Weather's bad down here once again, having rain. It's supposed to rain right through until Wednesday. So going to be a nice, fast, quick poly track tomorrow, there's no doubt.
Well, I guess the positive is that we are racing on the poly, so we can go ahead with this meeting without being too hesitant about our selections. Now, race number 1, favourite Winning Grace at around 12-10 from the Kelly Mitchley yard, the informed Kelly Mitchley yard with Muzieni aboard. It's 4-1 Peace Frog, 6-1 Stage Play, Exclusively Yours, Fly Like a Falcon, and horse number 5 as well. But Grant, it's a field of 7. What's your thoughts on the race? Winning Grace the one to beat based on a last start, or do you see a couple of others getting involved?
Yeah, she does look like the right horse, Rahul. A very good race. She's learning now. She's lovely filly. Those coup de grace go well on the poly surface. I'm not concerned about her one runner. She got beaten 11 lengths. I think Questor won by 6.5 that day. But she's improving with each and every run. Got to be a big runner, probably the right horse in the race. I've gone with the 2 to run Exclusively Yours to run second from Stage Play, and then C. Gioca, which is a very, very well-bred filly out of Danon Platina. Beat About the Bush, which was a very good filly that Alan trained. She's definitely the improver in the race, now to be ridden by Richard Fourie. So that's a bit of a jockey strike there. So punters need to have a good look at any form of betting moves on the 5 horse here. But I'm taking the 7 to win it, but 5 is the big improver in the race, Joe.
Yeah, keep a very close eye on horse number 5 now with Richard Fourie aboard, and this filly has a first start on the poly track, which could suit her nicely. And yeah, these Danon Platina as well, they improve with racing, and maybe even a bit more ground in time to come. You could see horse number 5 being really effective. But number 7, Winning Grace, that's a top selection in race number 1 for Grant. We move along to race number 2. Maiden played for the fillies and mares over 1,600 meters, the start of the place accumulator. And in this event, Fiery Cliffs, your favourite at 13-10. Aphrodite is at 5-1, along with Fire Chaser. It's in 6-1 and Better Bar those. Now, this filly Fiery Cliffs, she obviously met the boys last time out. I thought it was quite a pleasing effort. She's got a 6 draw to deal with, which is a lot better than last time out. And I think she's going to go one better in this event here.
100% Rahul. Very, very hard to beat. She's done everything right so far. Very good last run to Downing 7. I'm going to take a good one to beat her. I've taken her to win comfortably. And then the 2-year-old that's improving with every run, Fire Chaser, she'll be chasing her home with Aphrodite. Aphrodite's a little bit of a quirky filly, and she's been cost the punters a hell of a lot of money, I must tell you that. And now they've changed the jock. She seemed to find a little bit of form so she could fill up the back end of the places. But I'm very, very strong on the 1 Fiery Cliffs.
Race number 2, all about horse number 1, Fiery Cliffs, and certainly a banker in all bets here. We move along to race number 3, which will be the start of the big one, the Pick 6. And the Big 6 goes off at 13:55. It's a fillies and mares 82 handicap over 1,900 meters. And when we have a look at the market, it's Wildest Dreams with Richard Fourie aboard at 15-10, 22-10 aerial view. It's 5-2 about Heartsease, and then you get in double figure odds about the balance. Now, Wildest Dreams, comfortable win off a last start. The handicapper has given her 6 points for that victory, and she loves the course and distance. The question is, will Heartsease be able to turn the form around with her based on a last start? Now, the way that this filly won, I battle to see Heartsease turning the form around, even though she is slightly better off at the weight. So I'm with the Creef and Fourie combination in this event here. Grant, you see it the same way?
Yeah, 100% Rahul. Best bet on the card. I thought 15-10 was generous. I think she'll start in the red. She's definitely the best staying filly in Port Elizabeth. Loves the course and distance. I don't think either Aerial View or Heartsease can do a turnaround. I don't think there's enough of a weight turnaround to change it the way that Wildest Dreams is in form and winning. I take her to win it from Aerial View, Heartsease, and go lightly, but very, very strong Wildest Dreams. Best bet on the card.
Best bet on the card there, horse number 2, Wildest Dreams, in the 3rd race on the day, which is the start of the Pick 6. So another horse that you can certainly start off an exotic and a banker Next up, race number 4, an open maiden for the fillies and mares over 2,000 meters. And this event here, obviously it's an open maiden, so the weight varies. 61 going all the way down to 52. It's Gold for Africa at 16 to 10. Raxa at 2 to 1 after she ran on Friday, and she ran second behind Elusive Winter. It is Ballycotton at 11 to 2, 8 to 1, and Better Bar those. Now, Gold for Africa, Kelly Mitchley, she trains this filly that seems to be coming along the right way after, I would say, 3 poor efforts down in the Cape. Her first 2 starts in the province have been very, very pleasing. Behind the boys last time out, Pop Increase the winner, and he was the overdue maiden winner there. And yeah, even though she's got 61.5, she has to concede weight to all of the rivals. I find it hard to see anything possibly getting the better of this filly, just based on the fact that the yard are going so well and this horse is coming along the right way.
Rahil, 100% Gold for Africa, peak run, third run after the break, going up in trip to the 1900. Should be a very, very hard horse to beat. 61 on the back. Muzi and Kelly are in really, really good form. She's done nothing wrong. She was against the boys last time out. Very, very hard horse to beat. And I made her my second best bet on the card. Ragsa, the danger, she didn't stay the mile on Friday. I'm not sure if they're going to run her on in the 2000, but she'll have to pick up a couple of lengths. Then the likes of Ballycotton can definitely be in the money. But I'm all for Gold for Africa, definitely a banker.
Horse number 1, Gold for Africa from the Kelly Mitchley yard, and this is going to be the top selection for both Grant and myself in race 4. Next up, race number 5, which is an MR66 handicap over 1,600 meters, and things certainly do get a bit tougher now, and you would have thought, wow, are you guys just going to go banker, banker, banker? No, I don't think so, because it does tend to become tougher as we go through the card. And race number 5, Silver Stardust, your favorite at 28 to 10, and yeah, I must be honest, terribly disappointing last time out. And I'm just going to say that he doesn't stay 1,900 meters. So back to the mile. Question mark from the draw, how will he shape up? Obviously, you mentioned that the poly's likely to be running quick on the day, so that's not going to be in his favor. But the mile's a lot better for him.
Yeah, Rahil, this is definitely a tricky race. We can actually be grateful that we had a couple of those shorter races early on. It gets very difficult from here on in, there's no doubt. I've gone for Green Falcon. I think he's a big runner. Unfortunately, him too, bit of a bad draw and comes from off the pace. And I don't think it's going to be one of those days. There's no doubt. You're going to have to be up there because you're not going to make up ground. Silver Stardust has got to be in the money back at the mile. Didn't stay the 1,900. I was one of those that were on him last time out and were very disappointed. But there too, he comes from off the pace on a quick track. Going to be very difficult. I've also found this horse, number 9, Esos. I think he's going to run a very big race for Zitzman Oosthuizen and Chase Bajan from a 1 draw. I can see him going right up there. And then obviously the little filly, but she's carrying a bit of a weight, that's for sure. 61 kilos, Silvery Blue, another filly who goes right up there. And Muzi would probably like to go out and dictate, slow it up, and then try and sprint for home. But very tricky race for punters. You need all of 1, 4, 6, and 9. This filly, Manera, that's at the bottom, number 13. She won on Friday. I'm not sure if she's going to take her place. She actually won quite a gutsy race. But you're going to have to look at that. But very tricky race. You need 1, 4, 6, and 9, probably in the place accumulator alone, and then in the pick 6 you're going to have to add a couple more.
Yeah, well, you could have certainly found some nice value there with horse number 9, Esos, who's drawn 1, and based on his penultimate run, he could certainly be a very, very lively contender. But I think the only question mark will be he hasn't won over the trip. But let's see how he does shape up, because he's a horse that's in a nice space at the moment, and he's at around 10 to 1 in the market. Next up will be race at number 6, which is a classified stakes over 1,400 meters, and here we've got a wide open market. It's 5 to 1 the field. Vas Vota, Illa de Mauritia, Gunsmoke, all at 5 to 1. Pashton Wally is at 6 to 1. It's an 8 to 1. And Better Bar those. Grant, what's your thoughts on the race? Do you think this filly Illa de Mauritia, after a comfortable win last time out in the maiden, she could follow up here? Or yeah, there's quite a few inward chances.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for her, especially against the boys. Not going to be easy. 58.5 out of the maidens. I'm going to pass her by, there's no doubt. Passion to Wali, big runner. Duke of Orange, got to be there. The 2-year-old Vaz Voucher had a very decent race. out of the maidens, but now, and he knows the poly surface well. He won very well by 3.75 on the poly. Unfortunately, caught out wide at 12 draw, so he's going to have to use himself up. Big respect for a horse called Windsock, the 7 horse, holding solid form, and he definitely no problems with the poly. He ran second over 1,300 to Pedro 2 runs back, so he's a massive runner. And then obviously Gunsmoke holding solid form behind 2 good horses in Brendan James and Bournemouth, both on the poly track. So he's probably my narrow first pick. Is Gunsmoke from the 7 Windsock, the 3 Ashen Tuwali, who I make my value bet on the day. I thought 10 to 1 was very good odds, and then Duke of Orange. But another tricky is where you got to also add in Vaz Voter, a horse called Drop of Time, is the Shruti, and Travel Master with Richard Furion. But punters need to be careful in this race as well, Rahil.
Grant, this horse Grand Destiny now, I know he's drawn out deep, but I thought he would have possibly maybe won another race by now after he won his maiden so comfortably. Do you think he could get involved? Muzi could probably just use him up a bit early on in the race, but he could maybe get some cover, and who knows, he could maybe quicken over the 1,400.
I actually spoke to the yard this morning, Rahil. He's working very, very well. Unfortunately, drawn out to 13. He's going to go to the front.
Yeah.
Muzi actually asked after his last run where he rode him in a mile, please put him in a 1,400. I'd like to take him to the front. Muzi doesn't hold them very well. He tends to get them to run along a bit. So he'll be doing fractions out in front with a quick track. Definitely a horse that needs to be added in. But back to 1,400, they do completely different fractions in a 1,400 on poly, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it certainly is a very, very difficult race, and a race where you want to go as wide as you possibly can. Race number 7, which is a fillies and mares 70 handicap over 1,200 meters. And here we've got Glass Shoes as your narrow favorite at 9 to 2, 5 to 1 Quick Count, Amy's Idol at 6 to 1, Vizo's Magic 6 to 1, and then it's 7 to 1 and Better Bar. Those your thoughts on the penultimate race on the program?
Well, here's another one of those fillies and mares, and F&M is fielding more for me. I've gone Vizu's Magic. Lunga's got his string in very, very good shape. Decent kind of a draw at 6, holding solid form. Glass Shoes, big runner as well. And I go down to the 6 horse Ride the Lightning, put a line through his last run on the grass, back on the poly, held decent form prior to the grass run. And then the 10 horse Global Goddess, don't throw that away, a filly that shows a lot of pace, just got tired behind a decent sort Bonnaroo last time out, so she can be there. Be careful, Buttercup's a horse that needs to be added in as well. But I'm not very keen on Quick Count over the 6 furlong. She's done better results over the 1,000. So I'm brassing Quick Count, but difficult kind of a race where I've gone from Vizu's Magic to win it.
Yeah, very, very tough race here, race number 7, and another race where you really need to go as wide as you possibly can. And like race number 6, 13 runners, maybe you go field, and then you look to go a bit narrow in the final race as you would have done earlier on in the card. But Vizo's Magic, that's going to be the top selection in race number 7 for Grant. Race number 8 goes off at 16:40 on the Monday afternoon, 1,000 meters a trip. It's an MR68 handicap where Great Melody is your 2 to 1 favorite. Coastal Path 3 to 1, Miss Rose 9 to 2, it's then 10 to 1 and Better Bar. Those. Now this horse Great Melody, I was taken by his victory last time out because he had 2 runs on the poly track prior to that and he showed absolutely nothing, and I thought he would just struggle being back on the poly, but he showed a very liking for the surface and he won a nice race. Unfortunately, Cool Winter ran a disappointing race on Friday, so that form hasn't worked out. But he's a horse that he's got 61.5. Don't think it's going to be easy, but he could certainly make his presence felt here.
I'm not concerned about the draw, Rahil. He won a merit rate at 74. He's down to a MR68. He showed a very big amount of speed last time out. He's got a 7 draw. They're going to go very fast here. The likes of Egreet and the Cotson horse, Miss Rose, and Sharon's Yard is in fine form. They got a hell of a lot of pace, so they're going to be going quick here. There's no doubt. I'm probably going to find Miss Rose in front with that lightweight. She's probably the quickest of the 3 of them, with Egreet and Great Melody. But I've got no concern with the weight. He's down in class. He can definitely go back to back. There's no doubt. And I think the winner will come from either number 10, 1, 4, and 3. The 3 horse Coastal Path, he comes from way off them, draw 16. He's probably got a bit more work to do than those other 3. But I don't think this is overly difficult race. 10, 1 and 3 probably going to get you through, Rahul, there's no doubt.
That's numbers 1, 3 and 10. That's going to be the top 3 selections here for Grant in race number 8. And yeah, it's a race that the speed is definitely going to be on, and maybe even one that sits slightly off them could be doing their best work at the finish. But that's the 8 races on the program. Grant, we're going to move along to your suggested bet, and you can take us through your suggested bet for racing on Monday out at Fairview.
100% Rahul. My best bet, race 3, number 2, Wildest Dreams. My value bet comes in race 6, number 3, Passion to Wali. And my suggested bet is a win double with race 3, number 2, Wildest Dreams, onto race 4, number 1, Gold for Africa.
That's race 3, Wildest Dreams, into race 4, number 1, Gold for Africa. And that's that's definitely a good double to get involved in. It looks to be the right 2 horses in the race, and I think you could be cashing up after races 4 out at Fairview. Grant, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and have a good week.
Thank you very much, Rahul, and thank you very much, punters. Bye-bye.
Thanks to Grant for his assistance with racing at Fairview on Monday. All the best, guys. Hopefully you make yourself lots of cash.